Here today. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining SolidCAD and SimpleCloud on this beautiful sunny day here in Toronto. We're really glad that you can join us and learn about the SimpleCloud for the AEC market. What we're going to do today is we're going to go through a bit of an introduction about SolidCAD, then we'll go into an introductory overview of SimpleCloud. Then we're going to get right into the technical details of SimpleCloud systems. And we'll give you a bit of an overview and how it kind of works with using some of the Autodesk products as well as some other products as well. If you have any questions, please simply just post it on the chat box and we'll do our best to answer them at the end. Scott, let's do a quick audio check. You there?
I am.
Great. And everyone should be able to see my screen here that says here, Introduction to SimpleCloud AEC. Visual check, good?
I see it.
All right, 10-4, let's keep going here. So quick overview about SolidCAD before we get into the SimpleCloud. Again, we've had a long history here dating back to 1996 and even further back. And over the years, we've grown and grown through acquisition and mergers as well as organic. And we're now part of that Cancel family. We cover a number of different industries here today. The SimpleCloud webinar is going to be focusing more on the architecture and design, but this platform is actually pretty agnostic and it covers a huge variety of different industries and different software tools when you need that extra horsepower in the cloud, and we'll talk about that as well. We do like to focus on three main buckets in our customers in their business. You know, design. The type of tools that they're using to edit and author, manage, platforms to move all those digital assets across the different lifecycle stages, and then share how do we collaborate and move that data outside of our organization and bring outside data. So these are really important things that a lot of companies struggle with, and we're really here to help you with those three core parts of your business. We are part of the Cancel group of companies, and we are at the business unit looking after the Autodesk, Lumion, as well as some other consulting services and partner products. If you do have any questions about some of the other offerings from Cancel, by all means, you can reach out to anyone at SolidCAD, and we'll be happy to make the introduction to the folks at the Cancel group of companies. The other partner products that we support, Autodesk is our primary, software partner here at SolidCAD. We are Canada's biggest Autodesk partner, and we do have a platinum authorization, so we have the highest standing in support, sales, technical understanding of their products. Some of the BIM and AEC services that we offer range from your day-to-day BIM and Revit services for consulting, implementation, and training. We do a lot of programming and customization work. We're helping clients now implement reality capture technologies as well through, say, the Matterport scan to BIM, or using the BLK 360 or the Faro Focus series scanners, and helping them create better as-builts of their models. We also have data management and collaboration services that we can help your business improve on. Our training facilities are all across Canada, ranging from Calgary, Vancouver, out in Edmonton, as well as what you have in Toronto, Montreal, as well as in the Maritimes. At the moment, right now, we're not conducting any of the in-person training, but we do have a solution for training everyone on our software through remote services. So we are doing a ton of training today remotely for our clients. So we're still available to help you out. We do have a number of different training options in the market here. We do have some open enrollment classes, our standard curriculum, so anyone's welcome to join. Training sessions ranging from your day-to-day AutoCAD or, say, Revit, architecture, MEP, or structural. We also have some more advanced training sessions for Dynamo for Revit. And then we also have some customized trainings if you did want to close that off for your staff and focus on specifically on project-based trainings. So we definitely can, cater to pretty much anyone who needs training or support for their staff. We're very well connected in the community. We have a lot of partnerships and sponsorships for a lot of the communities, groups and user groups here in Canada, and we are part of the CanBIM Association. So this is a part of our remote solution. So this is something that we found that there's a growing need in the market after the COVID pandemic. We saw a lot of our accounts and customers, working remotely and really having issues connecting to their projects and connecting with others. And there was a strain on hardware as well as connectivity. So SimpleCloud is definitely a nice platform that we are welcoming into our remote solutions. And I think this is a great plug-and-play solution for anyone who needs that virtualized workstation for their staff or when they need the additional power. And finally, we have our technical support. So if you are a customer of ours, by all means, please give us a call. We are available. We have full-time technical support reps. You can either reach out to our support line at 1-877-438-2231. That actually spells GetCAD1 extension 2. Or you can email us at support@solidcad.ca. And if you can't get a hold of anyone there, by all means, reach out to your account manager and they'll be able to help you out with some of the smaller issues. So now that we're on board here, I've got Scott Johnson here who's going to be working with me on the SimpleCloud presentation. We're going to go through a bit of an overview of what SimpleCloud is. Some of you are maybe familiar with the overall concept of virtualized computers or virtualization in general. This is a little bit different, and I find this much easier than some of the other offerings in the market. Scott's going to give us some overview of how to administer the SimpleCloud to your staff, and you'll see that it's a lot simpler than some of the other solutions out there in the market, like AWS or Azure, that are a little bit overwhelming when you actually start logging into it. So this is a nice, easy, downloadable application that can easily be deployed across many different devices. So again, what do we SimpleCloud? Maybe Scott, if you want to give a better introduction about Summit and the SimpleCloud founding, or Fernando, if you're available there.
Sure. I can give a quick overview. SimpleCloud, the initial company was Sumus Render, started a number of years ago. Basically, it's one of the first cloud render farms in Europe, focusing on media and entertainment companies, as well, and later focusing on architecture and engineering customers. The initial start was providing cloud rendering, and probably 3 or 4 years ago, realized there was a need in the market for, I think, the solution that Simple provides, and basically created the beginnings of the SimpleCloud platform, which as you'll see is a great platform for getting people, small, medium, large teams, those studios, working very quickly. You can build everything out you need to have in place very quickly, within an hour, and get teams working that can be together, they can be distributed, they can be in other countries. So it's truly a global platform.
Great, thank you for that introduction. So let's keep going with this introduction. So again, SimpleCloud in a few words, you really got to look at it as, in my opinion, as a workstation and cloud. And so I got a lot of individuals I've come across are not really fully familiar with this, but what I find is that they're always asking me to run certain softwares on their laptop or their workstation. They just don't have the CPU or the GPU power. So SimpleCloud, again, is a quick and easy way to get that virtual desktop running right in a small little application window and running those large applications. So this gives you a lot of remote access to these softwares, from pretty much anywhere. And it makes it a lot easier and a lot more scalable than having to purchase some of the larger workstations. And again, the backbone of SimpleCloud, it's utilizing, cloud infrastructure from IBM, and IBM's been around for quite some time. It's one of the big players in the data center market. It's using the VMware definitely to help improve the performance of the virtualized workstation. You got the NVIDIA grid that allows you to have the clean, crisp graphics that you need to work on that application inside the cloud. And again, they're using their SimpleCloud layer, which helps with the management of that virtual workstation. And you can also get further into the workflows using SimpleCloud, and we'll talk about that in a minute. As I mentioned earlier, it is running off the IBM cloud, which their data centers, which is located throughout the world. You really don't need any high-end connection, so you can really get by with a standard 3 to 5 megabyte down up, connection. That's pretty much like the standard LTE connection off your phone. You know, obviously the faster the connection, the smoother the application window will be. And most individuals at home or in the office usually have around the 25 on average. The great thing about this as well, it is supporting 4K monitors. So you could split your application window from SimpleCloud over 4 monitors and really work efficiently through all the different applications. And it does have a USB support to allow you to connect either outside drives or to connect third-party accessories. Some of the key benefits here that, I'll look at my formatting here on the PowerPoint, I got messed here, but again, some of the key benefits of your SimpleCloud, again, is the ability to get that power when you need it. So you can imagine sitting in a Starbucks, you know, drinking your coffee, and something you need to work on a high-end rendering, or you need to work on a critical change on a Revit model, but you're working off your MacBook. And this is great because we can still use our MacBook to open up that virtual workstation right in the cloud and make those changes or make those updates to that particular data set. You know, we can use and we can up and down the horsepower of our virtual workstation. So if we need a lot of CPU power, then we can pay for it if we need to. If we don't need it, then we can use a lighter workstation. The good thing about using a virtual workstation, again, it's protective layer against outside threats. And very often we find there's a lot of attacks on servers here in the city. This is also moving more into an operation model. So if today when you're purchasing hardware, you know, that CapEx model and having to amortize the cost of the hardware over a period of time does make it a little bit more difficult to account for. And going into the virtual model, we don't have the IT overhead. And, you know, it really is a plug and play where we can kind of just grant someone a virtual workstation and let them work right off of their own laptop or device and have it completely secure against any other, you know, malware or anything that's trying to attack our servers. And there's different workflows that we can, you know, incorporate. Well, I'll show you in a minute here of how we can connect our virtual environment into our on-premise environment if you want to go down that path. And again, with using SimpleCloud, because they have their own proprietary layer on managing the virtual workstations off of the IBM data centers, they do allow you to, you know, extend that into some other workflows, you know, that are project-based, or if you want to get into rendering farms, or if you want to utilize Linux, or if you want to have some additional rules in place. So these are some things that may be a little bit overwhelming to do without that extra simple layer of management through some of the other cloud providers. So again, the great thing about using SimpleCloud is we do allow us to scale up and down, throttle the hardware as we need to based on the authoring tool that we're using. So if you don't need, you know, the high-end CPU power, then you don't have to. You can purchase or pay less for a CPU that's mid-range to run the Revit application compared to running an application like Lumion that demands a ton of CPU memory and GPU power. So there's a lot of different flexible options in the portal that Scott's going to demonstrate for us. And we're talking about the two different ways of connecting your data from, you know, one source to another. So again, you could, you know, use the cloud option and have all your data structured in a cloud. It could be anything like AWS, Dropbox, Google Drive, you know, your own private cloud. Could be anyway. So we can create simple ways to connect to those sources and bring the data down if we had to access it. And again, the connection from a data center into the wide area network is extremely fast. So I'll show you that speed test. And again, there's also hybrid models where we can, you know, create tunnels into our on-premise servers. So if we did have to bring specific data or connect and sync with our own server, say you've got a Revit server or like a work sharing monitor running at the Revit model locally, again, we can still utilize the CPU power from the virtual and sync with that model. So a lot of different ways we can get around with it. And you know, I'm not going to go too deep into these two solutions, but if you do have any questions at the end, we're happy to answer them for you. So let's jump right into looking at what the administrative end looks like for SimpleCloud. I'm going to pass the share screen to Scott there. So Scott, do you want to go ahead and share your screen?
Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, and you should see, hopefully see a dashboard. Do you see that screen again?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, good. Thank you. So just want to make sure. So thank you, Dan, for the introduction. What I'm going to show you today is just quickly how to create a studio, the basics of creating a studio, provisioning workstations, storage, and just really getting a team, how quickly you can get a team working on SimpleCloud. You can, like, one thing I think we mentioned earlier is that you can access SimpleCloud through the browser, through the Chrome browser, or you can download an app that we have available for Mac, Linux, and Windows. So you can run SimpleCloud really on any platform. This is a view running through the app, and one of the benefits of the app that I think Dan mentioned is that you can connect USB devices such as Wacom tablets and Teaks, and you can get pressure sensitivity with that. So we recommend going through the app for most users. Just starting off here, we talked about our data centers. You can see here that we have data centers in the Americas, Europe, and Asia, like through IBM Cloud. If we need to scale up, we can be in as many as 60 data centers through IBM worldwide, and it just takes a week or two to add them to new markets. So the main view you're seeing here is as soon as you log in, the first thing you're going to see is your dashboard. And on your dashboard, it's organized into studios, projects, and workstations, and active sessions. And think of the studio as like the highest level of organization. That's essentially your company. Projects could be different creative projects you have going on, or different customers. And then the workstations are basically just workstation profiles that I've been given access to. And this view here is a little busier than your average user would see, just because I'm connected with a number of different companies and projects. And most people would probably just have a few of each. So the first thing you do when you're starting is you're going to create a studio. And create a studio here. And this takes, for everything you do on Simple, most everything takes, under a minute. It's pretty fast. Creating a studio takes about 15 minutes. And just showing here. And it's going to point me towards the Dallas data center since I'm in the Americas. I'm in California doing the demo. When you're creating a studio, one of the things you want to do is invite users. So I'm gonna invite. You can invite different people that are part of SimpleCloud that are registered users. And if they're not registered yet, you can invite them via email. It's very easy. They'll get an email. They'll be prompted to log in and join. It just takes about a minute or two to register. So creating a new studio is easy. You just hit create. I won't create this here since we have a number created in our demo environment. Going back to the dashboard. So once you've created your studio, we can then proceed to kind of build out all the key things here. And all right. So within the studio, I'm just going to move on to creating workstations, things like that. Since I'm an administrator, I've got basically access to see how many people are using our different workstation profiles. And I'll explain the profiles in just a minute. But I can see here, I can select date ranges, and I can see here on our different levels of machines. By user, how many people are, in terms of hours and minutes, have been using time on the virtual machines. And we have a few different business models. The most popular is our per machine model, which you get a certain number of hours, 200 hours a month. And we have other models that are hourly, and other models that have smaller increments of time if you don't need experience. It's 200 hours. So I can see here, total usage. And as I showed earlier, if I need to add other team members to the project, I can invite them from people who are already registered, or I can search for new people, or I can email new invitations if they haven't registered yet. I think one of the really interesting things about the platform is you can choose from existing workstation profiles, or if you need to create a new profile, you can create as many as you want, but it's really easy. You basically just and this shows Windows. We have a Windows environment today. In a few months' time, we're going to have Linux available as well, so that'll be another option for content creators. But basically, it's just easy of drag and dropping software. I'll just pick a few different pieces of software here. And I can choose to give the machine internet access. So I'll give it the Chrome browser. And then also you can see here that we support past versions of software. So we support the current year's version software. We also go back and support a number of past versions of software in case the team's working on an older version of Revit or whatever the particular software is. Resources, I'm going to pick a machine profile. These are pretty commonly used machine profiles, X200 through 800. And you can just see here by selecting the profile, I'm giving this machine resources in terms of CPU, GPU. And if I need more power to run a particular program, I can upgrade it at any time to like an X800, that just gives you more CPU and GPU power. Another cool thing is you can control how the user uses the machine in terms of allowing internet access or not, allowing them to use their studio licenses. We offer a bring your own license model. So within the cost of our service, we cover VMware and Windows. But it's a bring your own license, so you can log in and use your existing credentials for Revit or whatever the software is, Autodesk, Adobe software. You can log in just like you would on a normal physical machine. A couple of things to show here is that you can allow, you can choose how many people can access this profile, or you can leave it alone and leave it somewhat unlimited. You can set the logout time. So since our business model is predicated on hours of usage, you can set it to, the default is 2 hours, or you can set it for 1 minute, 5 minutes, just depending on your business needs. And the last thing I'll show here is that you can schedule access. So if you have a company located in different regions, or if you want to split a workstation's time amongst different people, this tool allows you to schedule access at different times for different people. And when I'm done, I basically just hit create, and in a few minutes time or a few seconds, basically I have a new workstation profile created, ready to use. And if I need to go back, and make changes, I can go back and add or delete software release. I just go back into the menu, and I can add or delete software as needed. The next thing I'll show is storage. So once you've created your workstation profiles and invited your team, you can use existing storage pools, or you can create new network storage. And the great thing here is you can start off small because your project demands may not be too big in the beginning, and then scale your storage over time. And we have a setting here that allows for storage to automatically scale as you approach 90–95% full on the storage pool. I'll just show a few more things here. In terms of licenses, this is where you import your existing licenses. We offer rendering services as well. So here, and we support Deadline and other render management software. You can see here adding the render nodes. And I'm just going to jump back to the last piece I want to show here is creating a project. Sorry for the background noise here. It should go in a second. Basically, to work on Simple and to use a virtual machine, you need to be invited to a project. So project, but it's very easy to set up, and you can attach a pipeline to it or not. I'm going to choose not to for this project, but we have predefined pipelines created for different businesses if that's needed. And I'm going to pick some storage to assign to this project. And I'm going to assign a drive letter to it. For this, I'm going to pick M as a drive letter, but you can pick whatever drive letter you want that's matched to your business needs. And next, I'm going to add team members. So I'm going to pick Danny for CTO and add him. And next, and then from this page, you can assign permissions for the team members. So whether they have permission to upload and download in terms of FTP access, I can assign member roles, in terms of developer, line producer, and we can customize these roles for companies if they need customized roles. And when you're done, you basically just hit create, and you've created a studio. Last thing I'll show is once I've selected Danny as a user, I'm going to give him access to a workstation. So I'll give him access to a workstation profile, and I'm going to give him permission to upload and download. And we can set them up as just someone normally working on a project for you. You can give them admin managerial access. All that's possible here in the dashboard. When you're done, you just hit create, and you have a project ready. And Danny would see a new project on his main screen and be given new workstation profiles to do his work. And just going back to the beginning, going back to my dashboard, you can see that someone that doesn't need to have a lot of IT training, there's sort of no IT training more. Can get things going pretty quickly here. Set things up pretty easily and get things working on projects. And this just shows an active virtual machine set up. And I'm actually going to hand it back to Dan. I think to let him show something specific on a virtual machine that he has set up on the side. So Dan, if it's okay with you, I'll hand the mic back to you. Stop sharing the screen. Dan? Dan, you might be muted in terms of audio.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I got that.
Sorry.
My apologies. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure you didn't get any background noise here. So yeah, let me show you what I've got here on my screen here. So from a user end, you can see here my screen. You got the SimpleCloud application. It's a small window. You can basically minimize it if you don't need to see it. But the computer that I was assigned was right here, called AEC_high. So again, from what a user would connect to or have to do, is simply just plug that computer in, and then a small application window will end up pop open on their desktop. So let me show you what that looks like right here. So then we can see here a screen, and everyone should be able to see that, right? Just maximizing the screen here. Now I've got this in a maximum window here, but I can also work in a minimal window if I had to. And just minimize that right there. And you can see here we have the options as well to connect outside USB devices if we had to. So once it's kind of, I close that, my mistake. Once that kind of opens and is stable, it takes about a couple of minutes, but after that, it's pretty smooth. And from here, I can start running, applications like Revit, and I can go right into a large Revit model. And the way I accessed this Revit model was actually right through BIM 360. So if I went into BIM 360 model, here it is. I initiated that model, so I didn't have to go through any additional pipes or tunnels to get that model. Made it easier to access the model right here on my virtual workstation. Double click that model, and I got right into the model right here. So I'm going to zoom out here. Let's throw some color onto that to show you. And it should be pretty smooth once you're in here. And you can see here I'm kind of just moving in and out of the model. I'm going to go right into the floor. And the graphics are crisp and neat, no issues. Here I am increased the thick lines. We can go right into 3D view. We can even render if we had to. And just change that crop view. Throw some color in there if it's shaded. There we go. And we can look around. This is a pretty large model. This is about a 500 meg model. And I'm just in the interior. It has no issues. I'm not getting any latency or any refresh issues with the frame rate. Another application that is always asked about, needing additional hardware or large, laptops or workstations is applications like Lumion. So Lumion, I always get inquiries from my account saying, what kind of laptop should I get? And I'm like, well, how much money do I want to spend? And it ranges from like $2,500 up to $5,000 just to get Lumion to run smoothly. But in this particular case, I'm running Lumion right here in the cloud. And this is great because I've got a refresh rate of around, it's ranging between 20 and 24 frames per second. And I've got here, the sample set, and I've got here another model that I threw in there. And, I was just messing around in here, and I wasn't getting any problems with the latency. So, let's go into here. We'll just play with the colors. They got a nice hot pink. And then I can click OK. And again, it's just moving through that model without any problems. So I can imagine I could be working on a nice thin client laptop, like an ultra light laptop, and be running Lumion right off of the virtual workstation and be able to deliver a proposal to a client right from Starbucks. Or I could be taking, making a critical change at the last minute and, demonstrating that during a presentation in a board meeting. And even going right into here. And again, this is all being run in the IBM cloud. And you can see how easy and fast it is. So, I'm going to just take a snapshot here. We'll add a quick template, realistic. You can see how easy and quick it is. And even rendering it right off should not take that long. So again, when you start calculating the cost of buying another piece of hardware and having to, maintain it, it starts adding up. But there's that rendering we just did here. Right? And we can customize this entire interface as we need to, but this makes it a lot easier for me to go and work from anywhere and anytime I need to. So you can imagine if you're working in a large office and laptops or workstations just simply fail at the critical 11th hour, you've got this option of where you can just use a thin client lying around in the office. It's like a typical administrative computer, and just setting it up with a SimpleCloud and getting that person back online so they're hitting their deadlines. I'm just going to jump back into my presentation here. So that kind of wraps up everything that we want to present today for SimpleCloud. We're going to leave the end open for some Q&As. I saw here we have one particular question. So Fernando or Scott, if you want to answer this officially, can a user install any application as he or she requires?
Yeah, I think there's a few things to consider there. If the application's not on basically what you saw in our drop-down menu in terms of the drag and drop on the virtual machines, we can add it in a day pretty quickly, and that would include plugins, and we've added custom software, custom engines. Mm-hmm. So I'd recommend that route so that it's available. Since the virtual machines are created and then destroyed when you're done working, you obviously don't want to just put it on the virtual machine. It's better to have us sort of installed on the back end so it's available for customers.
Yeah.
Let me know if that answers the question or if there's a slightly different ones.
So even as a IT administrator or BIM manager, this is a great way to secure your virtual workstation and ensure that nothing is tampered with. If you're just setting it up just for someone to work and chip away on a Revit or Autodesk AutoCAD project, this is great. Just let them do it that way. So good question. Thanks, Evgeny. Any other questions? Well, we'll just wait here for a few minutes and then we'll wrap up. Yeah, if you have any questions, please use the chat box or the Q&A box.
And I think, Dan, one thing I want to mention is that we can offer trials for people. So beyond seeing the demo, we can offer limited trials where people can try it firsthand, just to get a sense for what it's like to work on the virtual machines.
Yeah, I'll put that here. Available. There we go. There we go. So if you do have any questions or if you want to get access to the SimpleCloud to give it a test run on some of the softwares, please give us a call or email us, and we'll be happy to provide you with that trial access.
Dan, if I can mention one more thing, the platform's also very customizable. So we do integrate with other software. For example, if a company uses different software to upload, download content, we can integrate with that, like Aspera or Resilio. So it's a very flexible platform, and I think you hinted at the beginning that it doesn't have to be all cloud. We can have custom installations, with the customer. So it's very flexible. I just want to stress that, to people watching.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to leave it there, and we'll be sharing this presentation on our YouTube channel. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. And again, if you have any questions or concerns about the SimpleCloud, please give us a call, and we'll be happy to help you with that. Okay, thank you again, and have a great day.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Take care. Bye.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.